Good morning, Minneapolis. Hello and welcome back. We're so glad to be here. We're happy that you're here. I'm your host, Toussaint Morrison. This is Good Morning Minneapolis, brought to you by Onside Public Media. In obvious news today, if Julie Nelson of KARE 11 continues asking if Vance Bolter is a Democrat, Alpha News just might make her an offer to host a newly produced show. I'm going to find every last one of these Democrats in Edina. Lord so help me, white Jesus. Speaking of venture capitalists, the dean of nursing at St. Catherine's University has been found to be embezzling almost $500,000 from the school. But wait, she was embezzling the money to reportedly help her then boyfriend's company. Laura Farrow served as dean of nursing at St. Kate's, and between 2020 and 2023, it was reported she managed to pay her boyfriend's company, JB and Associates, for work on the school. However, the work was found to be reportedly little to no services on the building. Farrow was arrested last May and recently was sentenced to 3 years of supervised probation for a felony count of theft by swindle. Farrow's then boyfriend faced 6 counts of theft and was found not guilty on all charges, which goes to show you these men really ain't. Let me get this straight. Homeboy was bossed up and funded a company by his girlfriend hijacking a Catholic college, and she took the rap while he gets to open up another sunglasses hut at the mezzanine in the mall? These bros ain't loyal. They really aren't. They're not. These bros are not loyal. Speaking of legality, the OCM is open for business. That's the Minnesota Office of Cannabis Management to you. And they just held their first lottery for recreational cannabis cultivation, and the winner went to HerbQuest, a cannabis business in Pine County, Minnesota. HerbQuest. Cannabis companies have the most insane names, I gotta say it. The company names sound like a class of first graders began playing D&D and were then asked to think tank a bunch of names for cannabis companies. Puff Puff Healer Smoke. Green Castle Compassions. Oh, here's my favorite I could have used in my childhood. Yelling Family Soother. Oh, and here's one that you might find in Bryn Mawr or Prospect Park. Moon Dealers of the Violet Flame. There's no doubt an array of ridiculous business titles will spring up in the next fiscal year as OCM Interim Director Eric Tauble released in a statement, issuing the first business license is a major milestone for the office, with our first licensed cultivator now able to begin growing plants and more than 600 businesses within the final steps of completing their applications and securing approvals from local governments. We are now seeing the first pieces of Minnesota's adult use market fall into place. Apparently, the OCM is right across the train tracks from the Minnesota Department of Education. And if Trump, in fact, does end state departments of education, they'll know right where to go once they vacate the building. Just walk right across those tracks, everybody. Yep, we're gonna forget that even happened. This one's not a question of vacating the building. Young Joni, owned by Ann Kim, will close its doors in September after allegations they haven't paid the rent. Biz Journals writes, the owner of the building that houses Ann Kim's Young Joni restaurant is suing the popular Northeast Minneapolis business, alleging that it owes back rent after negotiations stalled on a lease renewal. That's the Lander Group saying Ann Kim owes them roughly $143,000 in back rent. Holy. For context, the MPD goes through that amount of money in a quarter of a workday. A real workday is an 8-hour day of actually working, but for the MPD, that's most likely them holding a gun low ready while still on call at an unhoused encampment, threatening people suffering from exigent circumstances while thinking about watching Top Gun again at their home in Lakeville. It's so simple. It's really so simple. It's just that easy. I could keep going on for days, but we got to get this wrapped up. We here at Onside Public Media don't know if this is karma rearing its justly head at Ann Kim for busting up that union at her last restaurant, or if it's directly related to just not paying rent. Either way, it seems Ann Kim has let more service industry jobs go than the Trump administration has let go of federal jobs. We hope the employers are finding income soon. Union busting. Trump. Speaking of Trump, he's taken first steps into what he campaigned on not doing, shocker, stepping into another war. What this turns out to be, we don't know, but bombing 3 sites in Iran after saying he wouldn't, after Tulsi Gabbard said Iran's nuclear program had not been up and running since 2003, after Netanyahu has been saying Iran is 15 minutes away from being nuclear capable since 1996, here we are bombing Iran. Now let me hold on a second, let me step back. No. Here we are watching the Trump administration bomb Iran and give a soft promo to the trailer of World War III, while Israeli missiles hit a TV network building in Tehran, and Israeli content creators get to TikTok to mock the woman on air who evacuated as that missile hit. But you already knew all that. You knew Reuters and Ken Klippenstein had already signaled that Trump had been readying to change the regime in Iran for some time. So you totally saw all of this coming, right? However, the thing you maybe didn't see coming was a 22-year-old who would be in charge of terrorism prevention, Thomas Fugate. He looks like the son of Lord Farquaad. ProPublica writes, according to LinkedIn, the bulk of Fugate's leadership experience comes from having served as Secretary General of a model United Nations club. You're telling me he played United Nations House in college and now he's in charge of terrorism prevention? Okay, all right. I don't know, I gotta say, if I was hired for terrorism prevention, I'd start by investigating and arresting all those masked ICE agents that popped out on Lake in Bloomington last month. It should be easy to find them. You just gotta stop by Lakeville. It really is like The Masked Singer. I mean, who are all these people with little to no self-respect and just step out into public, masked, and then try to catch and imprison legal citizens? Well, look no further. Jeff Pearlman elaborates.
The majority of the masked ICE agents you see grabbing people, raiding, are deputized corrections officers. Like, they're not Department of Homeland Security longtime employees. They're deputized for the occasion.
Tim Walz may be shutting down Stillwater Prison, but those see hose is still out in these streets. That'll do it for us here at Onsite Public Media for Good Morning Minneapolis. Be sure to find all things Onsite Public Media at onsitepublicmedia.substack.com, and you can support shows like this in the first link in the description or at the link in bio. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you in the next Good Morning Minneapolis. Justice, then peace. It was a pretty good show, huh? It did work out. I didn't like what you had to say about that. I have a few things I want to talk to you about after this.